Emotions determine so much. We really don't give the power to emotions that we really should. Because when it comes to getting what it is that you want and what you truly desire out of your life, your emotions and what you see in your mind's eye is really the only two languages that your subconscious really hears. I mean, there's no specific language that our reality picks up. The language it picks up is our emotional experience and our visual experience. And visual is not just with our eyes, it's with our hearts, it's with our mind, right? And so the energy that's in motion with us can still have that laggy experience of the past. What took place when I was 7? What took place when I was 13? You know? And like, what are your associations with it? And so getting underneath, I mean, just, having an idea, because a lot of the things that we have embedded in our subconscious we can't readily access just by take a journal, sit down and take a journal. Sometimes we need the tools, sometimes we need to pull those things out so we can look at them. Some things we don't want to touch, they're buried so far underneath there. Sometimes you need someone that can help you unravel that. And or you need a safe space. You need a space to be able to process so that you're not processing in real time all the time. And that's something I'm really, really passionate about is we don't want to be processing every time something happens, right? And by default and by a result, you get what it is that you actually want. You're able to communicate it clearly. You're able to see it clearly. You're able to say, hey, this is what I want. This is why I want it. This is why it's important. This is how it'll impact. This is how it'll make me feel. This is how it'll make other people feel. What we would call matching energy is really just us emotionally processing in real time. That's what you call reacting. When you are constantly in the mode of reacting all the time to everything, that's what we call triggers. Being triggered is just asking you to go within. Being triggered is just asking you to look at something that's still running its course that may be out of date. So you get triggered and start processing in real time. Take a proactive approach. This is something you could do on your own or in a setting that is allowing that, that supports that, where you can process in your own privacy in a safe space. And then so when you're sharing it with someone else, you're clear, you're confident, and you're on your and you're able to say, yeah, this is what this is. And you're able to know when something requires the energy that you're handing it or it doesn't. A lot of times we were taught as children not to have needs, that our needs are inconvenient. And a lot of these triggers stem back to that. They stem back to I can't I'm not allowed to communicate what I need. I'm not allowed to have what I need without there being some sort of repercussion, right? So we don't want to be constantly reacting in real time all the time. We want to take that time and actually comb through it. Why we don't want to do that is because you'll find you'll start processing in real time, and the people that you're processing in front of can't support you, can't hold you or your child in the way that you need in order for you to break through that. This is initiation to a breakthrough. You're trying to break through, and then you find yourself being completely imprinted on in the midst of you breaking through something. So not only are you not able to fully break through here, you're also accumulating more to break through. My goal is to make as much content and access to things to help you break through some of that old wounding in real time, but with intention, so that you don't have to go outsource your peace, go and outsource your validation, go and outsource your love and support and nourishment. That when you get those outside of you, they are just things that add to what you already have done for yourself before going out there. I get into conversations with people, and sometimes I hear things like, well, you're speaking about this from this detached perspective, like you don't understand. I understand. I overstand. I overstand. I have experienced this from the back and to the front. Listen, I know this place. I would not be this fully in depth with this if I haven't first gone through the fire, right? That's how I'm able to speak on it. I'm not coming from a detached perspective because there's some sort of silver spoon that I've been given. I'm coming from this perspective because I do this daily, because it's something I practice, something I made a habit, a ritual for me, for myself. And because I have taken the time to process, when I come to you and tell you what I need, or I come to you and tell you my perspective on something, I'm not coming to this situation for the first time. I've processed this several times over before we even spoke. That just provides confidence. I'm not confident because my hair is black. I'm confident because I sat there with me through the hard parts. I'm confident because I got ugly about it, because I looked at the and the fact that I was doing that was not working, and I decided to be there with myself to comfort me in my reasoning as to why I was doing these things and choose something differently. That's why. That's what I want to help you do. You know how the Bible always talks about God knowing the desires of your heart? About God knowing your heart, that those are your emotions. Those are what you feel. God knows what you feel. God responds to what you feel because God knows that's what's true for you in that moment. That's God saying, hey, I will move according to the desires of your heart. How do you feel? Who are you truly? What energy are you emitting? And underneath, we all have that little child. Underneath, we all have a person who wants well, even if it's just for themselves. They want a good thing. Some of us for others, some of us for ourselves. Nonetheless, we want good. But God responds to how you feel, what your heart truly feels, what your intentions are, what you're emitting, what your energy and motion is telling, what decisions you're making from that energy. The desires of your heart. Your heart is your emotional center.